Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Wave, and today there's something that the NBA has to address, and they might even have to shut down the NBA for a little bit, and that's because of how many players and how many outbreaks there have been for the Rona, and it's insane how many players are entering the health and safety protocols for these NBA teams. There's a solid 10 teams right now that have players, in the health and safety protocols, and this is a serious subject and something that the NBA is going to have to address soon, and that might even mean shutting down the NBA. But before we get into the video and discuss which teams are having these issues and what's the cause behind this, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the bell for NBA videos. And man, follow my Twitter, we talk about NBA on there, so you don't want to miss out. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. Man, it seems like every other day we're getting breaking news updates about NBA players or teams going into the NBA's health and safety protocols for the Rona, and it's affecting the NBA more than you think, and this might even mean having to shut down the NBA. And I'm talking about, if you guys didn't hear the news today, the Chicago Bulls have 9 players in the NBA health and safety protocols, including Zach LaVine, Troy Brown Jr., and a lot of other players. LaVine and Brown, they joined DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White, Javonte Green, Matt Thomas, Derrick Jones Jr., Ayo DeSamo, Stanley Johnson as players that are sidelined due to the NBA's health and safety protocols, which means somebody on the team either, attracted the Rona or have been in contact with somebody who has had it, and the NBA takes their measures and the players have to self-isolate for that time being. So you guys heard it, man. The Chicago Bulls have lost 9 players into the safety and protocols, and we're not expecting them to be back up until December 30th. The NBA mandates a minimum of 8 players for each team before postponing a game during team outbreaks, and Chicago Bulls currently has 9 players available on its roster. So that means if the Chicago Bulls lose one more player, they're gonna have to postpone a game. And this isn't just the first time we've seen this happen this season. We just seen it recently with the Charlotte Hornets, where they lost a bunch of players and they had an outbreak on the team. And I do believe that on this Bulls situation that someone did attract the actual Rona, so that's a real outbreak for the Bulls. And as for the Charlotte Hornets, this news was about, I would have to say, a good week ago. LaMelo Ball, Ish Smith, a lot of players on the Charlotte Hornets were affected by this health and safety protocol, and they ultimately had to call up players from the G League because they were left to 10 players. They lost like a solid 5 players due to the health and safety protocols. And this is a big situation going on in the league right now, because there's a bunch of other players. I'm gonna put up a list right now of their who are affected because of this. Precious Achiuwa for the Raptors, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin for the Knicks. There's 2 players, Josh Richardson of the Celtics, Kyle Kuzma, Ayo DeSama, Chicago Bulls, Ja Morant, obviously sidelined because of his injury. Terry Rozier's out, like I said again. Ish Smith, Mason Plumlee, Jalen McDaniels, all players of the Charlotte Hornets. And again, these timelines, they're missing a solid 2 weeks. As we all know, Javonte Green of the Chicago Bulls is out. Austin Rivers, he's expected to be out until December 8th. Drew Holiday, Matt Thomas, Derrick Jones Jr. This is just a handful of players that are out right now due to the NBA's health and safety protocol rules. Luckily, so far, there has been no game postponements, and again, the rule is that if you have less than 8 players, that the game is going to have to be postponed. And this is affecting a lot of NBA teams because they're having to bring up players from the G League, and obviously, they're going to lose games if their star players are out. We just seen the Bulls, Charlotte Hornets, we seen LeBron James earlier this year get it. And this is something that the NBA, I'm sure they're digging deep into it, but there has to be next steps taken for this because, the future is just more teams getting these outbreaks and more players going into the safety protocols. And I think one of the things that the NBA has to consider is, really shutting down the NBA for a week or 2. I'm not sure the logistics behind that. Obviously, I'm not an NBA GM. Or they're going to have to come up with something, maybe a little bubble again, because this is honestly getting ridiculous. Never seen so many players going through the health and safety protocols. Players that are not even affected, who don't even have the actual Rona are having to go into the safety and protocols, which obviously it's not fair, but the NBA is doing it to be safe on their side. Obviously, if you're an NBA fan, you have to be tested before you go to the game or be vaccinated. So, the NBA does have a lot of, measures that protect their players. Players are getting tested every single day, left and right. Most players are vaccinated. Obviously, Kyrie Irving is still out due to that. He doesn't want to get the vaccine, but that's his decision. It's so crazy to me that Kyrie is actually out. But comment down in the comment section what type of, steps the NBA should take. Should they go into a little bubble because of this? Should they shut down the NBA for 2 weeks? Or should they just change some rules that would make it so, players are not allowed to go, out somewhere, and just make rules stricter overall, because clearly the rules that the NBA has right now aren't working. So let me know in the comment section below. But I just wanted to make this video to, inform you guys on what's happening in the NBA and the Rona situation. So if you guys enjoyed this type of video, subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on the bell. And with all that being said, man, be safe. I'm out. Peace.